That sudden, painful muscle cramp that wakes you up at 2 a.m., or that subtle puffiness around your ankles when you take off your socks at night, might not just be a normal sign of getting older. In fact, these overlooked signals could mean your kidneys are quietly suffocating under a heavy metabolic workload, bringing you one step closer to irreversible renal decline. And the most shocking part? The hidden trigger might be sitting right on your dinner plate disguised as a healthy meal. We've been told our entire lives that vegetables are the ultimate medicine, that the more greens, roots, and legumes we pack onto our plates, the healthier we'll be. And for most of your life, that was absolutely true. But after the age of 60, the biological rules of engagement change. Your kidneys, which act as your body's internal filtration system, naturally lose some of their filtering power over time. What if I told you that some of the most celebrated superfoods on the planet contain hidden natural compounds that can accidentally cause your creatinine levels to skyrocket? It's not that these vegetables are inherently toxic, it's that your changing filtration system can no longer process them efficiently, turning a vibrant health food into a silent metabolic burden. This isn't a minor issue you can afford to ignore until your next annual physical. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 34 million American adults have chronic kidney disease, and a staggering 9 out of 10 of them have absolutely no idea their kidneys are struggling. As we cross the age 60 milestone, our estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR, naturally declines by about 1% every single year. When you load up on certain vegetables with a compromised filter, waste products backlog into your bloodstream, causing a sudden, alarming spike in your serum creatinine levels. This matters right now because catching a dietary trend today can mean the difference between maintaining your independence and facing aggressive medical intervention tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Meyers, a registered dietitian specializing in geriatric renal nutrition. For over 15 years, I have worked directly with adults in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, helping them decode their blood work and restructure their diets. My mission isn't to put you on a restrictive, joyless meal plan. My mission is to use precise, evidence-based nutrition to protect your remaining kidney function so you can stay energetic, active, and out of the nephrologist's clinic. In today's video, we are going to look behind the curtain at 3 everyday vegetables that are highly celebrated for heart and digestive health, but can accidentally cause your creatinine numbers to spike. We'll explore exactly how they impact your kidneys and how you can fix it. Make sure you stay with me until the very end, because our number one reveal is a staple in almost every health-conscious kitchen, a vegetable widely praised for lowering blood pressure that might secretly be forcing your kidneys to work twice as hard. Before we count down our first vegetable, if you believe that we deserve clear, honest, and scientifically backed health information tailored to our needs as we age, please take a brief second to click that like button. By doing that simple step, you're helping train the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to other seniors who might be unknowingly hurting their health with their daily meals. Let's work together to help our community stay informed. I want to pause for a moment and ask you a direct question. Have you looked at your blood work recently? Do you happen to know your most recent creatinine score or your eGFR number? Go ahead and drop those numbers in the comments section below, or simply share if a doctor has ever warned you about managing your dietary potassium or oxalates. Reading your comments helps me understand exactly what challenges you're facing right now. Before we look at the vegetables, we need to address a dangerous myth running rampant on wellness blogs. You've probably read that if your creatinine is a little high, you just need to chug a gallon or 2 of water every day to flush it out. Please, do not do that. While staying hydrated is critical, forcefully overhydrating aging kidneys can dilute vital electrolytes like sodium and potassium in your blood. This creates a condition called hyponatremia and puts massive fluid pressure on your cardiovascular system. Your kidneys are fine-tuned biological filters, not a clogged kitchen sink. You cannot simply blast away a high creatinine score with excessive water. You have to fix the underlying metabolic load at the source. Let's start with number 3 on our list, raw spinach. Spinach is widely celebrated for its iron, fiber, and vitamins, but it contains a massive concentration of naturally occurring organic compounds called oxalates. When your kidneys are young and fully robust, they filter out these oxalates without a hitch. However, after 60, slowed filtration allows these oxalates to bind with calcium in your urinary tract, forming sharp, microscopic crystals. These crystals can physically lodge in the tiny tubules of your kidneys, triggering acute localized inflammation. When these filters are blocked and irritated, their ability to clear out waste plummets, resulting in a sudden, artificial rise in your blood creatinine levels. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases highlighted a clinical phenomenon known as oxalate nephropathy. Researchers documented multiple cases where older adults seeking to improve their health experienced sudden, unexplained drops in kidney function directly tied to consuming concentrated green vegetable juices and raw spinach salads daily. To illustrate how easily this happens, consider the story of an illustrative case named Arthur. Arthur was a 68-year-old avid gardener who was told his blood pressure was creeping up. To take control of his health, he started blending 2 massive handfuls of raw spinach into a green smoothie every single morning. He felt great, but when his routine lab work came back 2 months later, his creatinine had jumped from a perfectly safe 1.1 to an alarming 1.6. His doctor was incredibly concerned, but once we looked closely at his daily diet, the culprit was clear. If you love spinach, you don't have to give it up entirely, but you must change how you prepare it. Here is your actionable takeaway. Never consume spinach raw. Boiling spinach thoroughly and completely discarding the cooking water can reduce its soluble oxalate content by up to 87%. And here is an insider tip most people completely miss. Whenever you eat cooked spinach, pair it with a small amount of calcium-rich food, like a splash of cream or a sprinkle of cheese, during the exact same meal. The calcium binds to the oxalates right inside your digestive tract, allowing your body to safely eliminate them through your stool before they ever reach your kidneys. Moving on to number 2, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are frequently recommended as a complex carbohydrate alternative to white bread and white rice, especially for managing blood sugar. However, sweet potatoes are incredibly dense in potassium. As we cross into our 60s, our kidneys become less efficient at excreting excess potassium from our blood. When potassium levels begin to back up, your kidneys face an internal crisis. Because properly balanced potassium is critical for keeping your heart beating in a regular rhythm, your kidneys will prioritize managing potassium over everything else. They redirect their limited energy to pumping out potassium, causing standard waste products like creatinine to back up into your bloodstream. The National Kidney Foundation's KDOQI guidelines emphasize that for older adults with stage 3 chronic kidney disease, managing daily potassium ceilings is one of the most effective ways to stabilize kidney function. When you overload the system with potassium-dense vegetables, you unknowingly trigger a backlog of metabolic waste. Let's look at another illustrative example. Martha. Martha was a 72-year-old grandmother who was working hard to manage her type 2 diabetes. She replaced her evening white rice with a large baked sweet potato every night. Within a few weeks, she began feeling uncharacteristically fatigued and noticed slight swelling in her lower legs. A quick blood test revealed that her potassium levels were creeping into the danger zone, and her creatinine had spiked right along with it. If you enjoy sweet potatoes, your actionable takeaway is to implement the double cook leach method. Slice the potato into thin pieces, soak them in warm water for at least 2 hours, rinse them thoroughly, and then boil them in fresh water. This process draws a significant portion of the potassium out of the vegetable and into the water. My favorite insider tip for replacing the sweet potato is to switch to roasted turnip or rutabaga cubes. When tossed with olive oil and baked, they mimic the exact texture and savory flavor of roasted potatoes, but they carry only a small fraction of the potassium load, giving your kidneys a much-deserved break. We are about to reveal the #1 vegetable that causes unexpected creatinine spikes, but I want to take a brief moment to remind you why we look closely at these details. Catching these small dietary triggers early can save you from years of stressful medical procedures and preserve your energy for the things you love. Now let's reveal the #1 vegetable that accidentally spikes creatinine levels after 60. concentrated legumes, specifically soybeans, and texturized vegetable proteins. Soy and various bean varieties are heavily promoted as the ultimate plant-based proteins. As many older adults try to cut back on red meat to protect their hearts, they naturally pivot to soy-based alternatives, commercial veggie burgers, and concentrated bean dishes. The hidden danger here lies in compounds called purines. When your body breaks down purines, it produces a waste product called uric acid. In your 60s, your kidneys use the exact same chemical pathways and channels to excrete both uric acid and creatinine. When you flood your system with high purine plant foods, your kidneys become completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of uric acid. The transport channels get jammed, and because the uric acid takes precedence, your creatinine is left waiting in line, causing a sharp, noticeable backup in your next blood panel. A comprehensive epidemiological study published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition analyzed dietary patterns in older demographics. The researchers found a direct, verifiable correlation between high-density purine intake from concentrated vegetable sources and altered renal clearance metrics, meaning these foods directly slowed down the rate at which aging kidneys could clear out creatinine. Consider an illustrative scenario involving a couple over 65, the Hendersons. Wishing to adopt a heart-healthy, plant-based lifestyle, they replaced their traditional dinners with commercial plant-based meat alternatives made from concentrated soy and pea protein isolates. Within 3 months, both of them showed a sudden, alarming drop in their calculated eGFR scores and a corresponding spike in creatinine. They weren't experiencing kidney failure. Their kidneys were simply overwhelmed trying to process the concentrated purine load. Your actionable takeaway here is all about portion control and structural balance. Limit your intake of heavy legumes to no more than a half-cup serving per meal, and always balance that meal with highly alkaline, low-potassium vegetables like cucumbers or bell peppers. Here is the vital insider tip that most people completely miss. Always read the ingredient labels on your commercial veggie burgers and meat alternatives. Many of these processed products utilize highly concentrated extracts of soy protein, isolate as a primary filler. This means one single plant-based patty can pack up to 5 times the purine and nitrogenous waste load of a natural bowl of beans, secretly overloading your filtration system with a single lunch. Let's quickly summarize your kidney protection action plan moving forward. Audit your latest blood work. Locate your baseline creatinine and eGFR numbers so you know exactly where your kidney health stands today. Modify your greens. Stop eating raw spinach and switch to the thorough boiling method to eliminate dangerous oxalates. Inspect your pantry. Check the labels on your meat alternatives and processed health foods for hidden, highly concentrated vegetable extracts. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or a loved one who loves healthy cooking. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss next week's deep dive into kidney-safe protein alternatives. Thank you so much for watching. Keep advocating for your health, look closer at your plate, and remember, growing older wisely means eating for the kidneys you have today. I'm Dr. Meyers, and I'll see you in the next video.